There's nothing like drag week.
It's a true test of man and machine, and I think patience and lack of sleep.
It's just like the old days, and you see the guys, they're traveling across the country and what they took with them on their car, strapped on the trunk, on the roof.
There's nothing like the torture test it puts your body through, it puts your nerves through. You're constantly worried as you're driving down the road that you're going to break.
This is where the test of the fastest streetcar in America is decided.
This is the biggest drag week ever, 177 cars. Let's get to racing, running.
Drag week is a deal where we take a bunch of cars that are really too radical to be on the street and we put them on the street.
We do 5 drag strips in 5 days, a minimum of 1,000 miles. You have to drive your car between the racetracks. You are not allowed to put the car on a trailer and take it. This has to be a streetable car. That means headlights, that means windshield wipers, a horn, and so on. And the whole objective is to see who has the fastest street legal car in the US, so that's what we do.
Hot Rod's been involved in fastest street car racing since the early 90s, and we had a bunch of events, but really nothing proved that the cars were streetable. And then some guys came up with events called True Street, where the cars had to drive 30 miles, and okay, almost anything can drive 30 miles. We wanted to come up with the most hardcore test anywhere of what's really streetable and really fast. The first day of racing in Topeka, Kansas was kind of eventful because we had our first crash ever. Rich Frost in a orange Fox body Mustang, I don't know what happened, but he just drilled the wall. And Jeffrey Lutz was driving a little GMC Cyclone in the other lane. He got that thing stopped so that he didn't drill Rich as he came across the track. The other thing about day one is we had guys who were contending for the unlimited class, going after Larry Larson, who's won 3 years in a row. And one of the big names who showed up was Joe Barry with his orange 56 Chevy. Everybody had eyes on that thing. And then there's Project 6 Seconds, the highly anticipated car from Denny Terzic. It's been a long time coming, and they showed up with Jeff Lutz driving. Of course, Lutz used to run that 57 Chevy, but this year he was in 6 seconds. And on day one, laid down a 7:33, which was the fastest pass of the day. Larry didn't seem to be getting his act together. Then all of a sudden, right at the end, he pulled a Larry Larson, ran 7:32. That much ahead of Project 6 Seconds.
What appeals to me most about drag week is the drive. Okay, Joe's got a U-Haul trailer. He's got half of everything he owns packed in it, and he's running low sevens. He's driving hundreds of miles to every track. To me, that's drag week.
When we showed up in Great Bend, Kansas, it was really cool because that was the site of the first NHRA Nationals in 1955, which of course Hot Rod was heavily involved in. And it was neat to see the SRCA there as a local volunteer club putting on a really, really good show. And the track was awesome. We knew that because Mike Roy showed up with his 71 Monte Carlo, that huge 4,100-pound Burgundy car, and ran his best time ever, his first time in the sevens. The thing that's really cool about Great Bend is it's still operated on an original World War II B-29 runway. Great Bend also saw the fastest pass of the week. Larry ran 7:17 at 203 miles an hour.
David's concept of drag week, to get drag racing to something that matters to the hot rod reader, to all the people that are just regular people with regular jobs, but we also enjoy racing and wrenching. That's what drag week is about.
The best thing about drag week so far is just the experience between going down the track, working on the car. I mean, even though you have to work on the car, there is some enjoyment, as odd as that sounds, to doing it. I think if we didn't enjoy it, we'd find another hobby basically, because it's not like we're gonna get rich or do anything like that doing this.
It's just been a lot of fun. It's something so totally different than racing all the time or even driving the things all the time. So it's been a lot of fun, and it's not all about winning or winning your class or anything else. It's about just finishing the week.
It's grueling. I mean, it is really, really tough, but it's awesome. I mean, these guys are they become some of the best friends you'll ever meet. You know, you become instant friends with them. When you need help, they're right there.
Today, we broke a sprag. I went up there to do a burnout. It actually hooked before I got into high gear. We actually borrowed parts from Larry Larson, pulled the transmission out of the car, changed the sprag, changed the steel discs and clutch pack in the transmission. I'm hoping we roll in about midnight, but I'll be happy with 2 o'clock so we can get some sleep.
Amarillo, Texas. This was the track most guys didn't want to run on because, frankly, it's the most podunk track that we had run. The guys there had a lot of heart though, and they put a ton of effort into putting on a great show for us. In the chase for Unlimited, this is the day where Joe Barry sort of fell behind. He had spun the car out the day before on the road in the rain. He got to Amarillo and unfortunately only made a 13.3 second pass. But you know what? He stuck with it. And that's the thing about drag week, is a lot of people realize it's not really about the speeds, it's about the survival. The thing about the drives on the road is really, that's where the breakage happens. A lot of guys end up stranded at the side of the road.
What happened?
It just started making noise, and it looks like I pulled the cover off. Looks like I got a broken valve spring. Done. Toast. Let me call AAA.
All right, so we're traveling along on the freeway on the 40 and heading to Tulsa. Found a guys in a 56 Chevy, totally blown motor. They got to get towed off the road, so we're gonna go get a couple of tow straps and see if we can't help them out. All right, so we were able to get these guys to a hotel, and what's the plan? What you got going from here?
Well, I'm gonna hitch a ride with you guys to the rental car place, drive up to Topeka, pick up the truck and trailer, and come grab it in the morning.
We showed up in Tulsa, which was by far the greatest track surface that we saw during the week. Really, really hooking up. We fought some rain, but got a bunch of passes in. Doc McIntyre in the red naturally aspirated Pro Street Camaro. Right after the rain, they had dried the track, but obviously there was a bit of the problem because he got to the top end and really got the thing crossed up, but saved it. He went 9-12, almost his first 8-second pass.
8 miles of 578. Oh, trouble. Oh, beautiful driving job.
Here's a new kind of carnage at Drag Week. Scott Smith almost got his door ripped off. He was exiting the drag strip at the top end with the door out so he could like cool himself off. Another guy's parachute caught it and bent it the wrong way.
Okay. Whoa. Got excited about it. That Malibu is gone, folks.
Doc Fox, who has that yellow 67 Corvette, stood the thing up on the starting line, got a little water on the tire, got really crossed up, but saved it.
Woo! Sir, not for the Corvette today. Smoke show, but it's out of there. 548. Looks like he may be off the gas.
It's not supposed to leave like that. So,
man, I used to like her as much.
Never has before. It usually pulls about a 6-inch wheelie, maybe a foot.
Jumps hard this time. Having an issue down there driving it. Gonna lay out a beautiful 914.
The Pinto. Dude, This little white Pinto has a turbo LS motor in it, and it had been the car to watch all week long. We're like, man, this thing's gotta run 7s. And so we went up, we're like duct taping the whole front of it, trying to make it a little bit more aerodynamic. Tim, who owns the car, wouldn't put a little bit more boost in it. He thought it was gonna go a 799, but no, it went 802 twice.
76 miles an hour. Well, that's it, folks.
We broke a turbo, basically. The chassis flexed, everything flexed, and it winds up touching down a turbo and losing all the boost pressure, and here we are. So just another challenge in drag week.
Day 5 in Topeka, unfortunately, a bust. We thought we were gonna get a bunch of passes in, we started to, but then it rained and it wasn't gonna stop. So we called it, and drag week this year ended up being a best average over the prior 4 days.
$177 of you started, 135 returned, okay? That's pretty good carnage.
Normally the daily driver class is decided on a bracket race on the last day, but because it rained out, we went with the quickest car in the class, which was that crazy 59 Catalina with the big block Chevy in it. Buck McCoy, 1090. Our new gasser class, the first winner ever, Mike Cox at 1286. Big block power adder, an amazing car, Scott Smith's gray Malibu, 842. Big block naturally aspirated, winning for 2 years in a row, Colin Williams, 964. Small block power adder, the Pinto, Tim Reed, 823. Small block naturally aspirated, a tight race. The overall winner, Alan Crump, 1042. In modified power adder, the car that made a big stir last year, Todd Maschmeyer's Camaro, 821. Modified naturally aspirated, the only guy in the class, still a great performance out of Gary Satterley, 1026. In Pro Street, Mike Roy and Dennis Klein averaged 829 in their Monte Carlo. Pro Street naturally aspirated, Doc McIntyre averaging 944. The overall winner this year in Unlimited, again, 4 times in a row, Larry Larson averaging 757 at 193 miles an hour.
Everyone, it's been fantastic. Thank you very much.